Zachary Zormer, Shape Transformer, A Math Adventure by Joanne Reisberg, illustrated by David Hohn. It was Friday, Zachary Zormer's favorite day of the week. He looked around. Oh, rats! I forgot! I was supposed to bring in something fun to measure. Zach sank down in his chair. Maybe Miss Merkel won't call on me. Tyler marched up to the front of the room and held up a photograph. My mom and I raised this orchid, he bragged. It grew a flower that was 8 inches wide, and I got first place in the state fair. We won the blue ribbon, and my picture was on the front page of the newspaper. As Tyler strutted back to his seat, all the kids leaned over to see the photograph up close. Zach slumped down further. I can't even grow mold on an old sandwich, he groaned. Yes, Zach? Miss Merkel asked. Do you want to go next? What? He hadn't meant to say anything. Zach shoved his hands into his pockets as he walked to the front of the room. He felt a dime, a pencil stub, and a folded-up piece of paper he had meant to throw in the recycle bin. He turned to face the class. Everyone was looking at him. I got it, he said aloud. Zach pulled the paper out of his pocket and unfolded it. Then he tore off one end. This paper strip is only 8.5 inches long, but I can make it double its length. He twisted one end of the strip, then taped the ends together. Now it's 17 inches. The kids were used to Zach's jokes. Yeah, right. What planet do you live on? No way. I'll prove it to you, Zach said. I'll draw a line down the center without lifting the marker. When I'm done, the line will be on both sides of the paper, and it will be 17 inches long. All the kids leaned forward to watch. In a space station, where there's no gravity, I could make an exercise track shaped like this, Zach said. That way, astronauts could run twice as far. The kids couldn't believe their eyes. Ms. Merkel told the class that the loop is called a Mobius strip. All around the room, kids began making their own one-sided loop. Zach sat down grinning. He thought to himself, that was close. Next time, I'll remember to bring something in. At the back of the room, Tyler was scowling. Before long, it was Friday again. This time, Zach was ready. At least he thought he was. Rats, where is it? He searched all of the pockets in his backpack. He even turned the pack upside down and shook it. His picture frame was gone. Tyler waved his hand frantically in the air. He wanted to go first. My uncle climbed the highest mountain in the world and found this 400-million-year-old fossil. Its perimeter is only 6 inches, but this little seashell fossil proves that the mountains were once under the sea. My uncle was going to give it to a museum, but he let me keep it. Wow, said Zach. The oldest thing I have is the banana at the bottom of my locker. As Tyler walked back to his seat, he announced, I think Zach has something really interesting to show next. Zachary? Miss Merkel asked. The color drained from Zach's face. He had nothing, and Tyler knew it. Zach slowly got to his feet and took a deep breath. In his pockets he found an oval rock, an empty gum wrapper, and a crumpled up hall pass. He'd lost his picture frame, but he had an idea. In front of the class, Zach pulled out the hall pass and smoothed it out. This is a small piece of paper, he said. It's about 4 inches long and 6 inches wide, so it has a perimeter of about 20 inches. He paused. But I can make it big enough to walk through. Tyler laughed loudly, but everyone else looked curious. Zach picked up a pair of scissors. I just have to fold the paper and make some cuts. When he put the scissors down, he shook the paper and it became a big zigzagging frame. Zach pulled the frame down over his head. The amount of paper is still the same, but now the edges are almost 5 times longer, he explained. This is important because when I'm building a space station, I'll need to make the most of every material. The kids were silent at first. Then they started clapping. Everyone took out scissors and paper and began to cut. Everyone but Tyler. Before Zach knew it, it was Friday again. It was raining hard, so his dad drove him to school. They got there only minutes before the bell. Zach jumped out of the car and raced up the front steps. Made it, he shouted. Then he realized he'd left his backpack in the car. When Zach sloshed into the classroom, Ms. Merkel said, "Wonderful! We have perfect attendance today." Perfect attendance? What was he thinking? He could have stayed home in bed with a fever, a nosebleed, or a weird jungle disease. He muttered, "Maybe Friday isn't my favorite day anymore." One by one, kids told about the area of a notebook, a library card, a CD case, and so on. Soon, only Tyler and Zach were left. When Tyler was called, he swaggered to the front of the room. "My grandfather always says, good things come in little packages." This little bar means a lot to him. Even though its area is only 1 square inch, he got it in World War II for leading his troops out of enemy territory under cover of darkness. The class oohed and awed. As Tyler returned to his seat, he whispered to Zach, "Try and top that." Everyone's head turned in Zach's direction. He knew they expected him to do something amazing. For a second he thought, maybe lightning will knock out the electricity and I can escape under the cover of darkness. Ms. Merkel cleared her throat. "Zachary?" Zach coughed and went to the front of the class. His pockets held nothing but some paper clips and a tiny flashlight. "I like to stay up and read, so I use this under the covers," he said. "The beam of light is very small. It only lights about 7 words. That's an area of about 1 square inch. So here's how I light a whole page." Zach turned off the lights. He pointed the flashlight at a paper on the bulletin board. The lit-up area was very small. Then Zach tipped the flashlight at an angle. "Now the light is spread out and covers a larger area," he explained. "I can angle the flashlight until the beam of light covers a whole page of a book. That is 5 by 8 inches. That's an area of 40 square inches. I figured this out because sunlight on the earth does the same thing." Zach pointed the flashlight at the globe. "Where sunlight hits the earth straight on, there's a lot of light and heat in that place. Where sunlight hits the earth at a slant, the light spreads out and it's colder. That's one reason we have winter." All the kids started talking at once. Everyone wanted to shine the flashlight on the globe. Everyone but Tyler. The kids were so busy talking that they didn't notice when Zach turned and walked over to Tyler. There was something he had to do. Zach took a deep breath. "Tyler?" Tyler scowled at him. "What do you want?" "I have to tell you a secret," said Zach. "Yeah? What?" asked Tyler suspiciously. "I had nothing to show today, or on the other days," Zach said. "I just think things up on the spot." He waited to see if Tyler was going to tumble out of his seat laughing or jump up and tell everyone. "What do you mean you had nothing to show?" Tyler said, rising from his seat. He glared at Zach. "Then where did you get that light thing?" he demanded. "I don't know," Zach shrugged. "I like transforming stuff. It's fun to change one thing into something else. And I'm always thinking of stuff I can do when I'm an astronaut." Tyler didn't say anything for a long time. Then, to Zach's surprise, Tyler said slowly, "The light thing was really cool. I read under the covers at night, too." "Yeah, it's the best way to read comic books," Zach agreed. "Especially Galaxy Warriors," Tyler added. "Yeah, that's my favorite," said Zach. "Listen," Tyler said, "can you show me how to draw one of those twisted tracks you were talking about? I just got a computer game where you can build a space station. Maybe you can come over and we can make a space track." "A Mobius space track? Sure," Zach said. "We can draw it like this." The measuring assignment for next week was to draw a picture of something very big and label the height, width, length, and area. Zach knew just what he and Tyler would do, and he was certain of one other thing. Friday was still his favorite day of the week. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe